If you want long hair, do this. 5 reasons why your hair isn't growing. Oh my god, I just grew my hair out in 2 weeks. Don't you wish your hair can grow like this? Oh my god, my hair is so long. Look, it's on my back. I'm tailbone look.
If you are tired of all of the gimmicks in the hair community on YouTube about growing your hair long, why your hair isn't growing, use this product, put Vagisil on your scalp to grow your hair. Are you like me and you're tired of all of the clickbaits and exhausted information in the natural hair community? There is no new information there. And yet you are no closer to understanding your hair and how to keep it healthy and how to retain length. And you just want to understand your hair and the characteristics of your hair. And you genuinely want to have a healthy routine for your hair that is customized for you, because you are tired of jumping on every trend and every bandwagon that happens every week and trying every new product that comes out every week. Watch this video. I have been natural for 9 years now. 2021 will make me 10 years old in the natural hair game. This is hands down the longest relationship I have ever been in. Yes, a relationship with your hair is very intimate. You've went to makeup, to breakup. You've wanted to cut it. You wanted to get out of the game. You've had some really good moments and you've had some really bad moments. I have been watching YouTube videos for about 10 years now, and I have seen the saturation of YouTubers and content that's being put out there, but I am no closer to really understanding my own hair and understanding what my hair likes and how to retain length on my hair. And so that's what this whole year have been for me: shutting out the noise, shutting out the products, and figuring out my hair. So I decided that the best approach to understanding my hair is using the basic science of hair, understanding the science of hair and how to treat it. Remember, hair is not alive. Once it leaves our scalp through the follicle, from the follicle, it's dead. So at this point, we are just preserving a dead substance. It's basically mummification, okay? So now we have to understand the process of the cuticle, which lets products in and out of the hair, and how to coat the cuticle to seal everything in. So learning the elements that affect that, which some things are water, heat, and chemical processes, how to lift the cuticle, how to get the important products in, understanding the molecular weight of certain products, and if it's penetrating our hair or not, learning our porosity, and understanding the pH of hair. Also understanding the phases of hair, which is the growth phase, the resting stage, and also the shedding stage. So if we understand those basic information about our hair, then we can customize a regimen and seek products that accommodate the characteristics of our hair. Because it's time out for using everybody else's suggestions and not being able to understand your own hair and what it wants. So on this channel, my approach to hair is going to be more on the scientific side, because it's time that we get to understand how hair operates, but more specifically how your hair operates. Because my hair regimen might not necessarily help you. It may make it worse. And I've experienced that. I've used products, I've tried regimens out there that have made my hair worse. I am going to attempt to do my makeup at the same time while we talk. So it's going to be a bit of a chit chat. And to all the makeup artists out there that may watch, I apologize, okay? Oh my God, don't worry about my eyebrows. If you have been on this journey as well for a long time, when I first joined, I joined platforms like Hairlista, That was basically it. Hairlista and YouTube. They were my two platforms that I was able to communicate with other persons about hair, recipes, how they're treating it, and everything. So, and that's when people had, there was a natural hair community, but it was really small. Really small. You only had a certain amount of persons in it. Certain persons like that are like the mother, natural 85. I used to follow Rustic Beauty. I felt like her hair resembled mine the most. I really loved her. She was really good. F. Grogan and African Export. Oh my God. So those were my go-to persons when it came to hair. And Kimmy Tube. Do you guys remember Kimmy Tube? Kimmy Tube. It's definitely changed since then. I don't want to say for the worst, but it's definitely took on a more commercial approach rather than being authentic. You weren't really watching person's journey. It turned into a lot of persons pushing products. Hair care companies noticed that the traction with the YouTubers, and so they started to send their products, and then all of a sudden your persons were like recommending this and that, and every week when they did a video it was another product. And so that's how we got into this era of product junkie. It's like everybody is doing natural hair product lines. I remember when I first started, one of the products that I used was Cantu Shea Butter. Cantu Shea Butter, the Cantu line. It was a shea butter leave-in conditioner, and it worked well. It was great. And then all of a sudden, I see they changed into Cantu Shea Butter for natural hair, and I'm like, really, really, you do the same thing that you do with your other products. So it got really saturated with hairlines, African pride, and a lot of these companies are not black owned. We already know that. A lot of these companies are pushing products for black hair. Granted, they may have done their homework and everything, but you know, they're not our kin folks. It got really gimmicky with that, and as well, then came the trend of DIYs. And mind you, persons like Natural 85 was doing DIYs for a long time, but the DIYs got really questionable because when you're telling me to put yeast infection cream on my scalp to help with my hair growth, I think we've went a little bit over the deep end hair products. So it started to get really gimmicky, and now I think it's so saturated with DIYs till it's like we're trying everything, and I'm guilty of that. I've tried almost everything. I've done this, I've done that. God, it's so many different things. And it's always, now we're getting into a place where we're traveling to outer countries and kind of ripping off we're ripping off hair products and regimen from other persons, like let's say for example the Yao women. And so now we're all doing rice water, which I use rice water, I really do. But we're going into these different territories and trying to do our hair now like the Indians and the women from Chad and Shebe, and rice water from the women in Yao. But my thing is, there is so much more to the products working on their hair than it just works. You have to look at it. For instance, the Yao women, they're washing their hair in spring water, fresh spring water. One of the issues that I found last year and yet before last was I had a really bad period with my hair breaking. It was dry, it was brittle. I could not get it to stay moisturized. And it's because where I lived at that point, the water was extremely hard, extremely hard. I even I changed the shower head to one of those purifying shower heads, and it would go bad in 2 weeks. That's how hard the water was. So where am I going washing my hair with this hard water that's already depositing hard minerals onto my hair, and at the same time trying to add rice water, which is a protein? Of course, my hair broke. So it's a lot of stuff we have to consider: their environment, their diet, the pollution in the air, or the lack of pollution in the air, and stuff like that, that contribute to these persons being able to grow their hair really long. There are a lot of major factors. So it's to the point now when the natural hair community is now completely saturated with YouTubers, which I'm not knocking. Do your thing. You can always learn one new thing from one person at least. The problem is, I think a lot of us are catching on to trends and trying it and talking on it like we're so knowledgeable about it, but we're not. So we have to be careful how, when we recommend products and processes to persons, just because it works with our hair, it doesn't necessarily going to work with their hair. Of course, that's the disclaimer, that try it at your own risk. But that's one thing we have to consider, one. And number two, everything is a trend for content. And so you're going to, oh my God. I watch some ladies, and I'm not knocking anybody. I watch some ladies, and every week they put out a new natural, they're trying a new product, or they're trying a new DIY. And what I started to ask myself is, if these ladies are trying a new DIY every week, or whenever they're doing their hair, or every 2 weeks, whenever they put out a video, when do you have time to be consistent enough with one product or one new process to actually see if it works? These persons, the ladies from Chad with the Shea Bay product, that's all they do. They don't jump on Shea Moisture one day and the next day they're like, oh, let me try this rice water, and then the other day they're washing their hair with baking soda or anything. That's all they do with their hair. With the Shea Bay powder, they mix their certain grease or oils, and they take out their hair, detangle, and wrap it back up. That is consistency. And so with consistency, you get results. So if we are following every trend and every bandwagon, and we're hopping from one day we're washing our hair with baking soda, and then the next day we're using Shea Bay powder, and then the other day we're using Amla, when do we have time to see if these products actually work? If you're not giving it at least a good 6 months, using only that process and that product for a year. So it got really gimmicky to me, and I was tired of it. And I can't follow up with all of these things. And then everything turned out to be clickbaits. Oh my God. So if you've been watching natural hair videos for as long as I have, let's say I've been watching it for almost 8 years, 8 to 9 years now. I'm finding that there's no new information circulating out there. But the titles are so catchy. So they're getting really good at crafting titles and how to get persons to click their channel. And so I feel like it's become more about clicking on their channel, i.e. clickbait. And so they're like, do this 5 things and your hair will grow incredibly. Click it and watch. And then you click it. So basically the natural hair community has become saturated with a lot of chatter. It's deafening now to me. I am too old as a natural hair lady now to listen to all of them. I'm tired of it. And so my approach to this channel and to my hair is now going to be strictly science. Let me tell you why. As I am nowhere near finished my makeup. It's going to be science because, one, I have a degree in biochem, so why the hell not use it? And I've always looked at science and the facts behind things to to kind of understand it. That's always been my approach. So why not my hair? We treat our hair as if it's like we feed it food. We feed it food and we give it water and moisturize it and give it things to drink. Like it's an extension of our bodies. It is an extension of our body, but here's the thing. Hair is dead. Once your hair leaves your follicle, it's dead. So now your responsibility, now that your hair is beyond your follicle and it's already grown out, you are now responsible for preserving the hair. And think of it of mummification, really. Just how the Egyptians preserved their dead, and now that they're opening the tombs thousands of years later, and they can still make out a face and their hair and collect samples and features and everything, means they did a really good job at preserving or mummifying that body. And that's basically what we're doing with our hair. We're taking care of a dead substance that have left our body. There is no channel or no funnel or no inner capillary that goes into the hair strand. Thank God, because you can imagine when we clip our ends and it bleeds. There is no sauce, no blood sauce in our hair particle. There is no hollow. There is an inner cortex, but it's not feeding from our scalp. It really isn't. So once the hair is out there, our process is to learn the cuticle system, how to lift it, get get moisture inside there, get water in there, and how to preserve it by coating it with the substance that's going to keep the moisture in and keep it supple enough so it doesn't break. That is our job when it comes to your hair. And so what better approach to deal with your hair than from a scientific point? So my approach is going to be, this makeup isn't going to get finished. My approach is going to be approaching hair in a very scientific way. Not that it's going to be boring or anything, but it's going to be informative. And by doing that, and by going to the basics, which is the science of hair, now we can encourage persons, or I can encourage persons, to use the same basic general rule of science, like your hair pH and your hair pore, and learning how the hair works and how to manipulate it. You can apply it to your own hair, because my regimen for my medium to dense hair, my low porosity hair, which I am going to reevaluate, kinky hair, not that pattern makes a difference with chemistry, but pattern makes a difference with how you manipulate your hair. That information, if avocado oil works well with my hair, it's not necessarily going to work well with your medium to fine, high porosity hair. It's not. So when a YouTuber tells you avocado oil is the holy grail, and you use avocado oil and your hair just feels grimy and built up and everything, it's a reason for that. So my approach is going to be definitely looking at the science of hair, including the pH, what are the elements that manipulate your cuticles opening and closing, the molecule size of certain oils, moisturizer, and water, and determining, because of your hair porosity, what can be absorbed and what just coats your hair. Okay? And then we're going to understand better the phases of hair, meaning the growing phase, the resting phase, the shedding phase, all of that. How hormones affect your hair, how does your diet affect your hair in terms of hair production at the follicle level, and not, don't think because you're eating greens that the length of your hair that's already out from your scalp is going to turn shiny. It's not. It's not. Your job is to make this part shiny. Think of it like a birthing process. The follicle is the womb. All the nutrition and everything that needs to grow this good baby is there. And once that section of the hair is ready to be birthed, it breaks beyond the scalp. And now the baby is out of the womb. So now it's your job to feed this baby milk and change the diapers on time and nourish this baby. So your scalp has done its job. The womb has done its job. And so I think once we get the basic understanding of hair and move beyond the gimmicks and the clickbaits and the exhausted information, if I click on another video that says 5 reasons why your hair isn't growing, and then it talks about stuff like, you're probably not exercising, you're probably not drinking enough water, which is the truth, right? But I'm tired of the old opinionated approach to hair. Let's get down to the science of it. And I've encountered some really good channels that took that approach, and it made more sense. So you don't run amok buying so much products and using this and using that and treating your hair a certain way or not treating your hair a certain way. And I'm wondering why you're not getting the results that you're looking for. Some of the channels that did a really good job at it is KimmyTube. She's like the old OG, and I'm gonna post some of the channels down below in the description box. KimmyTube, The Green Beauty is really good. God, there's another lady I just discovered. She does low porosity hair. I'm gonna put that there too. So once you start talking to me about the science, and Curly Proverbs is good as well in terms of finding the scientific fact and the properties of certain products. So once you have that knowledge and you have the knowledge of what your hair does, you'll apply both of them. She's really good at that as well. So let's change our mindset about hair and products and what's popping, because everybody is coming up with natural hair products now. Why? Because we're buying it. Why? Because Black women are so obsessed about having good hair and growing our hair long, but we don't understand our hair. And that's the problem. So we're going to start learning. We're going to understand our hair more. Understand our hair as love language individually. And then we're going to get our hair healthy. Let's focus on health, because a lot of persons are focusing on growth now, me included, mind you. I'm on this twist journey now where I've had my hair twist. I've just added extensions actually, but I've had my hair twisted from May. That means every 2 weeks I would wash and retwist each of the twists individually, detangle and retwist it. But I've done that because I am approaching 10 years, and I found that I want to see personally if I can grow my hair beyond bra strap length. I've always hit bra strap length, mid-back length, and then I've had setbacks with dealing with hard water, the wrong products, having Brazilian blowouts or silk presses that completely destroyed my hair, or that I didn't have the right approach to restoring my hair back to a good health after I've had these really harsh things done to my hair. And so I've never moved beyond that point, and I want to see personally if my hair can. And while I'm doing that, I'm learning discipline to preserve my hair and to treat my hair properly and to protect my ends. If you want to see, the problem isn't that your hair isn't growing. The problem is your hair is breaking at the ends. Your ends are the senior citizens. They're the most fragile. So you have to treat them differently and be more gentle. And I've coined the phrase, protect your ends at all cost. Don't take that. You have to protect your ends at all costs if you want to see the growth that you grew by retaining. And so, my honest opinion is the approach to hair care is no matter what product you use, you have to know the science of your hair and how your hair responds to the characteristics of your hair to know how it will respond to a product, no matter if you're using a DIY or a store-bought product. Vag cream on your scalp to grow your hair out. I think we need to pull it back a bit. It's amazing the things that people are doing with their hair, and you have to know the science behind these trends. I washed my hair with baking soda once, and then it felt nice and clean and squeaky clean. I was like, okay, and then I researched it. I said, well, what does the baking soda do? And then when I got into it, and then I got into the pH and the pH of your hair compared to the pH of baking soda, and the negative effect baking soda has on you're basically relaxing your hair if you use baking soda consistently to wash your hair. And then I've seen videos where natural girls completely damage their hair washing their hair with baking soda, and they're like, oh, I destroyed my hair, I'm gonna start over. No, know the science behind everything, and I'm going to do my best to cover all of that on this channel just through videos. I'm not here to become a YouTube star. That is far from my aspiration, but I want to unclog the system from trendy, clickbait, exhausted information and misguided information, and just kind of fill it more with, let's experiment together, let's find out the truth together, and let's do the science experiment together to see exactly what our hair wants and doesn't want. So we're gonna approach hair differently and finally have good, healthy hair and retain our length. Let's go.